Hey yo, this video was supposed to be a kind of slightly humorous and just about how the reason for why the GSC contract involves Air 3. Forgive me, my non-existent Chinese audience, if I mispronounce GSC, but I like to try to pronounce things, or at least attempt to pronounce things correctly, as opposed to whatever some other like going chai c. And yeah, if there's only one e, it's usually the short e in my experience, not the long e. Anyway, we're digressing. So this video is going to be about that and how the reason Era 3 is involved at all at the later stages, because that's where the Chinese MBTs are, and that's considered heavy tanks. And then this happened, and this now has turned into, as the title says, because I'm going to be blunt and simple like this, I will not be going into the nuances of base capture like you can from watching the WotC Academy video on base capture with Darren. Strongly suggest you subscribe to that channel. It helps you learn about the ins and out of the actual game, and at least the functions and whatnot. But capture is something that should only be done as a last resort. It should not be done, as seems to be once again rising, at within the first 3 minutes or less of a match. And it shouldn't be done when you are absolutely demolishing the team. Why? Because capping the base allows for at least the first 3 tanks to get some sort of base XP, or it's a standard XP. It doesn't get used as part of any multipliers. It's just a base amount. And doing damage translates to tank XP and silver. So if you win a match within the first 2.5 minutes, and this has happened before, where you cap the base and there's 13 versus 13, you have, in a very short amount of time, wasted a lot of time. This could also, yeah, like XP boosters, silver boosters, wasted on next to nothing. When you have 4 or 5 tanks getting barely 1,000 damage or less, and the rest of the team getting 0, goose egg, nothing, that's not really how this game is played. I suppose this is directed towards any new players. But this is all about getting as much damage as you can. Not tank destruction, not the kills. Damage translates to XP and silver. That damage and the XP and silver can then be used for multipliers, like that you get, ×2, etc. And anything you get if you've completed a season, which is a 25% boost to silver, XP, and Commander XP. So this is not that match. Obviously, I'm still here battling out in the Type 85-3, which is probably the closest thing to a decent Chinese MBT in Air 3. The others lack armor, and after the only last time these tanks got a buff was to hull and turret rotation, and if I remember correctly, they increased the fire damage round. And then there was the whole accuracy, the last big change and terrain resistance change and stuff that happened, and now these tanks are kind of trash with accuracy, and I have to learn how to kind of replay them a little bit, because they definitely feel like knockoff T-72s now, for sure. So now back to where we were having a proper good fight. As you can see, there was a fight here at G9, and it was unsure of how things were going to go. This is not how Corellia usually goes, okay? By now, you've either lost or won. There's never was a proper line of scrimmage type battle right there. If you've played 5 matches on Corellia, you kind of know how it goes. So here I am being bold, and well, I don't know. I think the Type 85-3 kind of looks good. So I'm being bold and beautiful here. Realizing that there is a potential here as we have a little bit more team health. And I was also feeling the bloodlust. It was like, come on. Come on. I will lead the charge because this is what we need to do. We need to push. I was trying to figure out, do we go for base capture or do we just circle around and pincer, and in a pincer movement, get the other team? Well, at this point, I'm like, all right, we got ADATs on the run, and this was the moment because like, ooh, Belka, if we can, all right, that's a serious tank destroyer being taken out. There's the other Belka on the move, on the run, and pretty much at one time I was like, nah, this is the time. Get moving, crush them. All right, 4 kills, 8,000, almost 8,000 damage. I'm like, yeah, get to rolling. You get that. You feel that way when you're playing a tank that usually doesn't do well, and suddenly you're like top of the board and like, yes, this is my time. I don't usually feel this way. I usually feel burning, serious burning from the how poor the armor is on these Chinese MBTs, and also can't hit shots because accuracy has gone to crap again. Now I've switched to HE here if you're wondering, because I was wondering if we're going to come across that Belka, and it's not as bad as the Malone, but you never know. Also, if I came across the ADATs, it's just like, yeah, could potential of high roll with some serious damage. So I've on the roll. I don't know. Have I already told my team to attack? Because I can't help but notice we're capturing. And it's like, yep, we know where the other team, there's only 2 left. We know where one is, and here's the other one. So, or the other 2 are. It's like, this is it. This is perfect. The other team is on the verge, has no health, 6%. Come on. I was absolutely willing to sacrifice my tank because if it means causing distraction, having that Belka dump its round into me, phrasing. Oh. Captured. 2 tanks left, and we knew where they were. And they were nowhere near to capturing our base. I literally felt robbed of true glory. Again, this has happened before. Because 10,000 damage sounds a lot better than 9,225. Okay? It really does. Potentially 6, maybe 7 kills. Awesome. And a tank that I now have to get back to feeling good in and can struggle. Ammo wrecked quite a few times. But at least the Type 85-3 has a few plates of ERA armor. ERA, sorry. And, yeah, alright. When it comes to capturing the base, save it for 5 minutes or after the match. Preferably when you are there's only a few of your team left, and the other team is about to crush you. Alright? Not when you're winning. Remember, the best way to win is destroying the entire team. The other team. Not with a flag victory. Alright? Hope this was good advice. Keep your tracks on the ground. RNG in your favor. And damn it! Stop capping!